Okay, where are we? What we're doing? Well, clearly Dayz. I'm playing on my regular server, which is the Rock Paper Zombie. It's whitelisted, so guys, if you want to come and play on the server, more than welcome. But you've got to go to their website first and request to be whitelisted. Anyway, so what we're doing is it's kit rebuilding time because I was hunted down. Well, me, Pip, and Ty were hunted down by Calculon and Mag, regular players on the server. We made the mistake of mentioning in side chat where we were going. We only gave rough location, but we did mention where we were going, so they hunted us down and shot us. Mags posted a video on that one. It's quite funny. We were next to a pond and Pip hid in the water. But so we're basically on kit rebuilding. If you notice, I've got the regular backpack, but I do have a nice weapon. This is one of the weapons we've got stored in tents in various locations around the map. But that we seem to have died a lot recently, and that's starting to run low. So, having a look at my kit levels, you know, I've got food and water, I have ammunition, I have a pistol. It's not the best pistol in the world, I don't have a great deal of ammunition for it. So, I'm not carrying much in the way of medical supplies. In fact, I'm not carrying, apart from painkillers, I'm not carrying medical supplies at all. So, I need a larger backpack. I need medical supplies. Now, medical supplies basically means a tent or a hospital. And the hospitals, if we open the map, there are 4 on the map. There are 2 in Cherno. There is one. I'm looking specifically for it. There. There is another one there. There is one in Electro, which is there. And then there's another one up in Bergino. And I think that's where we're going. Bergino is a long way off. Put a tag down. By the way, those tags, left shift and a mouse click. And if the server is not playing hardcore, can you see that? It's brighter when I lift it up. At the top of the screen in the middle you can see a pointer and a distance, and it's 10 kilometers away. So I think I'm to look for backpacks. Backpacks are more commonly found in supermarkets, so I'm going to run through some supermarkets. There's going to be some solo play. It's a weekday, it's around midday, so we're unlikely to see Pip or Gaddo. So yeah, I'm down in Zelenogorsk at the moment. So it's a 10-click route march, which is a long old way. So we're going to pop into the supermarket here in Zelena, run through Zelena, and then choose whether or not we go. Let's pick it up a little bit. Do we just do... Oh, I love these people. Crap on the map. A straight diagonal run with a nip into Starry, because that might pick us up some decent weapons. Or do we just generally... Or do I do supermarkets? Or markets, or stores, whatever you want to call them. Zelenogorsk, Pushka's got one, Vibor's got one. There's one over here, but I can't remember precisely where. So I think we're basically going to head to Bergino, because Bergino has 2 supermarkets and a military spawn-in. So we're heading to Bergino. And I'll try and do some recording if anything interesting happens. So here we are, we're running in. I was going to try and sneak, but hey, you know I don't do sneaking very well. Oh, come on, let me in through the door. I'm going to go first person. Some food, some bits, some bobs. It's not looking hopeful. Really looking for a backpack. That's larger, I'll have that. Now this G36, most Dayz servers don't run with it. It's one of the ones that's been added by the guys who are on this particular server, so not many servers run the G36. What I'm doing is I've opened the backpack, opened my backpack, put the contents of my backpack into that one on the floor, and then I take it. Now I think there is a Z in here. he's... Oh, no, you can't get me. Don't get too close to the glass. They can... Yeah, see that? Sort of pop through the wall there. Let's have a little look else what we've got here. Gear. If I'm going to be going for a long run, I want to make sure I've got enough water, enough liquids. Nothing much of interest. I could do with a compass. Compass might be nice. But to be honest, there's not much in here I want. Do I have a pair of binoculars? Yes, I do. Oh, another check backpack. Looks like it's check backpack day. So there's not actually a great deal I want. Ah, I'll have you though. It's 1911. What I'll do is I'll swap my 1911 for the revolver. And then I'll pick up the revolver rounds because they're the same. Oh, I can drop that one. I've got a Z close. Come on. He's not terribly interested in me. Need that one. And then I convert. And convert. So I've now got my preferred pistol, which is the 1911. I've got some food, I've got some liquid, and I've got a zombie. Time to run. Don't think I'm being followed. And if you're used to my videos, you've seen me do this a load of times. I'm basically just going to visit all of the... You can see there's a Makarov. A little more food. And I'm just basically going to run through this town. And up, so yeah, talk to you in a second. Here's my next point of interest, the post office. We call it a post office. I have no idea. It might be the town hall for all I know, or the village hall. It's... This building is repeated. They don't all have that on it. I don't know what that means, but it looks sort of semi-official, so we always call this particular building the post office, even when it doesn't have that. Oops, someone's asked a question, I better answer that one. Nice place to go and hide. Go up backwards. More binoculars. Could, as I say, could do with a compass. Makarov. Another watch. Don't need another watch. Could do with some drink. It's an 8-click run, and there'll be stuff to find along the way. Vest pouch, don't want that. I always think the vest pouch you should be able to wear as well, but hey, that's not how the game works. I've got one water bottle. I'll pick up this other one, and I think I'll take the opportunity to rearrange my kit a little now I have a larger backpack. Because you'd only really need one can and one tin of food in your front pouch. Don't know if I need that anymore. I'll drop it. That was coming to my backpack. Yeah, the UI in this game, not always great. It's one of the things that they say has been completely changed in the standalone. I hope they get it right. I have concerns about the standalone actually. I'm not entirely sure whether or not they're going to try and do too much. I sort of like their original idea, which was merely to repackage armor and the Dayz mod as a single item, and remove the features from armor that are not needed in Dayz, and those are the features that are being abused by the hackers. Things like teleporting, for instance, which is teleporting is a legitimate part of armor. Some game missions. What we got? You know, you can't get rid of it out of armor because it would break armor. map? I'll tell you what, I'll pick up that map because I have another tent which I will be passing. I'll drop it in. So yes, I was talking about the standalone. So what they were originally going to do was repackage armor and Dayz as a single item, remove the features from Dayz that weren't required, those features like teleporting and such like that, and of course armor's huge because it's got all of these military vehicles in and aircraft that just aren't used in Dayz. So they're going to repackage it up and release the game much as it is at the moment and then making incremental changes over time. I'm not sure why. I think it's possibly the whole debacle with the War-Z causing issues. They decided against that and decided to actually make some massive changes to the game. And I'm a little concerned they're going to move us further away from this experience. And you've got to remember, I play this game because I like it. If they move it away too far from this game, introduce too many new items and changes and features and whatever, I'm not entirely sure I'll like the new game. So that's my only concern. My only concern with the new, the announcement recently made by Rocket Hall was I fear they're going to change the game too much. And that would be disappointing because this is the game I like. I'd like things fixed, but I don't necessarily want it changed out of all recognition. Let's see if I can get to the water without spooking these two because they are a little close. Especially as I'm going to spend quite a lot of time in my gear screen. Open bag. Empty water bottle. Over to here. Fill it. Take a drink. Always drink. Never pass water without drinking. And then move it back. So now I have a full water bottle in my front pouch and my back pouch. Sometimes you get interesting things in these. So yes, that was it. That was my concerns with the with the mod. Oh, sorry, not the mod, the standalone game. I fear they're going to change too much. They apparently have completely redesigned the inventory control system, which is a good thing, because it has a lot of quirks, but I hope they don't change the gameplay too much. Here we are, found a deer stand. And, oh, let's bring my weapon up. Bump. This is the top sight. This weapon has two sights. Red dot, zoomed in, or thing. Bit like the ACOG. Shouldn't need it though. Yeah, I was thinking about the standalone. A couple more things, or a few more things come to mind. Will the server admins be able to customize the gaming experience? Now, one of the things that makes this server great, I mean, the first one is that routinely in the evenings, admins actually play on the server and actively admin it. They've whitelisted the server, meaning we're more likely to, or less likely to have issues with hackers. But it's also a good place to play on because they've made changes. For instance, as far as I know, this weapon is not available on most servers. Some weapons have been added, some weapons have been taken away. The AS-50 has been removed, for instance. Also, the number of vehicles and the type of vehicles have been changed. So these things aid gameplay. One of my concerns is, will server admins still have those options available to them with the standalone? Ooh, some useful stuff. And, you know, oh, you can see I swapped a lot of my cans out. I did some hunting. Oh, they're SD as well. Nice. So that's my first question. Will server admins be able to alter the gameplay to suit their needs in the standalone? Not sure. Another question is, will the standalone be moddable? Given where it comes from, I really hope it will be. Bohemian Interactive understands, well, one of its greatest strengths is its relationship with its community, understanding that the future and longevity of the core game and their core business is built upon the community and the community's ability to make the game bigger and better than it is. So yeah, that's worthy of question. Will Dayz standalone be moddable? Will people be able to introduce different islands or different maps? That's a question, not sure. And the other question is, will this die? Will Dayz the mod, as it stands at the moment, wither and die? Or will there be a small hardcore community who prefer this version of Dayz rather than the standalone version of Dayz? With the way things have gone in the last month or so, I think Dayz mod will continue. Not just because people are too tight to spend the money on Dayz the standalone, but because of the flexibility that I was talking about. Because if Dayz standalone comes out and it doesn't have the flexibility to allow server admins to set the gameplay up the way they like, or if the Dayz standalone experience is so shockingly different from this that people dislike, that a group of people will dislike it. So those are my questions. Some more of my questions about the Dayz standalone. Will it be moddable? Will server admins be able to set up servers in the way that they want? I picked up a couple. And I suppose, dependent on those questions, will Dayz the mod, in other words, where you need the full armor game and it's modded, disappear? So yeah, there's some questions. We're just going to nip in here to see if there's a vehicle spawn around here somewhere, and if I can get a vehicle to drive up, I will. Well, vehicle doesn't need too much repair work. It always tells me there should be a vehicle in here. Should be a. If it is here, this is where one of the common spawn points for it, and the answer is no, it bloody isn't. So let's head back on course. Get rid of these guys. And a few frame rate issues. I think I may have turned the settings up too high. This is what often happens with me, is the settings I run for Dayz, this Dayz, which is regular Dayz, on the Chernaroos server, for when I can frap, and that's how I record. And when I play solo, or I'm playing on one of the other maps like Takistan is a much less demanding map. You normally get consistently higher frame rates on Takistan. And sometimes I forget to set them back. So there's some pine trees ahead. We'll get rid of this this lonely Zed with his crazy trousers. And I'll talk to you in a bit. Thought I'd come across one of these, or hoped I would. I am just south of Novi Sobor. No, I didn't go into Starry, which is over there. But I've spotted a helicopter crash. Now, sometimes it's worth, when you are at a distance, if ordinarily you wouldn't see it, but if you look at that from here, there's no grass. There's the painted texture of grass painted on the field, but there's no sticky up bits of grass. So very often, if you look at one of these helicopter crashes from a distance, you can see if there's any kit there. Now, in this particular case, we're too far away even for that. So we'll get a little closer. I'll see if I can show you what I mean, where you're far enough, you're close enough to it to be able to see the kit that's spawned in next to it, but you're far enough away from it that it doesn't draw all this grass, which, of course, hides the kit. So here we are, we've repositioned. I came in from over there, and we can see that the Zeds are spawned in. So my breathing settles down, but you can see there's no grass, and right there is a tin of ammunition, and I can see something at the tail of the plane, the helicopter there, but I don't see any more. not from this side at least. We've got a few Zeds to deal with, as you might expect from a helicopter crash. But just a little tip for you. If you get a little further away from it, you can take advantage of a game mechanic. Part of the game. It's cheating, I know, but hey, is it cheating? Don't think so. You're just taking advantage of the way the game works. That it doesn't draw all this lovely detailed grass at a long distance. One of the reasons, I was talking about the Takistan map, not using quite as many system resources. The towns are more complicated than these, but of course there aren't the trees, and in most cases there isn't the grass. There is grass down in the valley bottoms, but up on the barren wastelands of the hills, no grass, or very little grass, very few bushes, and it's a lot easier for the computer to draw. You don't get these big woodlands. And the towns, although every building in Takistan is enterable, which of course why it makes it very interesting in Dayz, yeah, I think a little more complicated. You go to Zagabad, you'll definitely see your frame rate dip, and that's a map with a massive city. Imagine putting Cherno and Zelena together, Cherno and Electro together in one spot, and even then you don't get to be as big as Zelenogorsk. So, if you remember rightly, at the back this is actually quite visible. Oh look! Oh wow! I haven't seen one of these in ages. What this is a tin of ammunition. Ooh, I'll tell you what, it's more important than all of this lot. And you can put things in it. I don't know what I'm going to do for blood on the way back, mind. I'm going to eat some meat, I reckon. But how interesting is that? I've seen these tins on other servers, or other versions, but that's the first time I've come across one of these tins here. See, that's nothing. We know where the stuff is, because we looked at it from a distance. There was another item around the corner at the back here. Hang on. Around here somewhere, wasn't it? Or was it? You see, you can't see it because of the grass. So you've got to sort of section it. And of course hope that the Z hasn't cottoned onto you and it's about to eat your face. One over here. Sort of like it to be one of those Makarov pistols, if possible. Come on. Where were you? Maybe I was confused. Ooh, frame rate dip. It's unusual. I haven't had one of those in ages. Sorry about this, I'll keep still, let my computer recover. I think I've got a hard drive on its way out. And unfortunately it's the hard drive I record onto. Okay, I don't think that's here. Yeah, my computer, I've got a... Ah! What are you? Which Makarov are you? Oh, it's a regular Makarov. If it's the Makarov silenced, I'd have had it. That looks to me like someone has been here and dropped a Makarov for a nicer pistol, PDW or something. Anyway, yes, talking about my computer. I have a 256 SSD, which unfortunately I bought before the prices dropped. That's not so clever, as it cost me twice as much as it's for sale now. But anyway, it cost me 300 quid, where you can get them the same one now for about 160. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, if you talk about things like that, you really don't want to get into how much I paid for my graphics cards and how much they're worth now, because I could have saved myself a couple of hundred quid by waiting 4 months. How many have I got? 2. Going into a pine forest, don't care. Right, so the other thing is I fitted a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it was a couple of years old, and that's what I do my recording onto. Because obviously these video files are huge, absolutely humongous. An hour will be a couple of hundred gig. So, you know, I'm regularly and routinely dealing with video files of a couple of hundred, 150 to 200 gig in size. So I think this hard drive is starting to fail, or at the very least it's starting to... I'm pushing the limits of its capabilities when it comes to moving files. For instance, when I'm rendering video, my computer, you should think, should use all of the cores I've got available to it, but it doesn't. It sits on an average of about 20%, and it is being limited by the I/O, that's the input-output of that mechanical hard drive, because I've got a sneaking suspicion it's actually an old one. It's only it's not the faster of the two SATA. It's not SATA 6, I think it's SATA 3. So I'm not even making full use of my CPU when rendering videos. So that's not good. So I think if YouTube do finally send me a check, it's going to get spent on a more modern hard drive, probably a couple of terabytes in size. Because as it stands at the moment, I can't keep any of the videos I make. I don't have the storage capacity to be able to keep these videos, or to keep the raw, definitely not the raw data, because it's huge. But even the videos I upload, I don't have them anywhere else. So if all of a sudden I decided I wanted to upload them not only to YouTube, but say to Twitch or somewhere else, I can't, because I have to, after I've uploaded to, you know, if I did them and set one after the other, it'd be fine. But if I upload this to YouTube, I then have to delete it to make space to make the next video. The raw data, the raw video images, the big ones that Fraps creates, have to be deleted off the hard drive, because I simply don't have space. I must admit, I'd need a massive array if I wanted to keep raw footage, but even the converted footage I have to delete off, which is a bit of a shame, because maybe I should keep one or two of the early ones at least, so that if in a year or two's time I can like re-release them and say, look, this is what they were like in the old days, weren't they terrible? Because I've been doing this for about 4 months, these videos, and even I can tell that I'm getting better at them. There's still eternal minutes after minutes of me just running through forests rambling on, but that is, if you like, what the channel is about. It's me talking, and there happens to be some gameplay to watch. Sometimes the gameplay is interesting, but to be honest, no. Most of it is just about me rabbiting on, or me and my friends rabbiting on, talking about the stuff that we talk about. So anyway, let's cut it off here. I've changed topic about 5 times. I've not actually got anything done. Talk to you in a bit. Time for a quick diversion. In that direction is Bergino by about 2 kilometers, but I just realised I'm close to Polina. I think that one is a supermarket, and right now number 1 priority is a bigger backpack. I picked up all that ammunition, need a bigger backpack, so we're going to do a little diversion into Polina to have a look at the market, or the store, or whatever you want to call it. I always think of them as being Lidls, but anyway. We'll nip into Polina, see if I can't pick myself up a bigger backpack. So here we go, running into Polina. Zeds are active. Pretty certain there aren't any players around. A couple of places of note here. It's got a supermarket and it's got a large Stalin house. So watch out for the fences up here in the more northerly parts of the... anything in there? No, nothing of worth. There's the supermarket. These fences are a bugger, aren't they? So we'll run them in here. I seem to have quite a few behind me by the look of it, and we'll be real quick. A little bit of spawn, not a great deal. I'm not expecting much in here. It's more about getting rid of those guys. again, these... I find that the fences, whoever did the map... I close. Yeah, whoever did the map for the more northerly portions of the game, I think went a bit overboard. He linked all of the fences up. Tent, don't need a tent. Don't need a Makarov. You might be worth looking at. Okay, here we go. Let's go loud. Wait. It's not like I don't have enough ammunition. So it's normal looting. I could do with a compass. What else have we got? Oh, a watch. Watches can be quite useful in this game. Tent is a relatively unusual item. I could do with a can of drink right now, looking at my water level. And, just drink that. Ugh, a dinner bell. The Enfield. Not my favourite. See what we've got back here. Not a great deal by the look of it. Hang on, here we go. Yeah, we got these guys going to probably pop in through the door. You. Please be something I want, and you're nothing I want. Bugger. Of course I got rid of all my food. Please be something I want. Oh, sodding watch. Not what I wanted. Another Makarov. Okay, that is pretty much it done for this thing. If you notice this store, it's the same as the ones everywhere else, it's just set further into the ground. You look at the stores, a lot of the stores on the south coast, this is a walkway and there are steps down. You'll see that when we look at other stores. So it's just a case of... Ooh, helps if I go the right direction. Regino. Put a tag down on the hospital. 1700. Time to go for a run. Quick check around, there's nothing else of interest around here, is there? Nah. Off we go, trot trot. So here we are, the grand vista of Regino stretching in front of us. If you're a regular Dayz player, you can die for view distance like this. Is one of the advantages of playing on this particular server, is server admins have pushed the view distance out. So, binoculars time. Let's have a little look at what we've got here. 0Z activity, which is a good thing. We have a hospital. We have a supermarket. And a pub. All of these are good spawn point or spawn loot point locations. We've got a large agricultural sort of cooperative farm type thing. If we look down the road, Stalin House there, blocks of flats with lots of stuff, and another supermarket. Now, if you look beyond, there's the road, but no detail. There are buildings beyond, just the game isn't drawing them that far out. These are all these little roads here all have houses and things. There's industrial there. Can you see the markers for it? No buildings, just the markers for where the industrial is. More housing here. This is the satellite imagery that's used to create the map. And if you were to play in a very high altitude, that's what you would see, because that's a long way away. I mean, let's have a little look. That's that lumber yard there. .7. So you can see a long way, but the game doesn't draw things out that far. It draws things out here. I mean, this is still... How far was Bergino away? Still 800 meters. I mean, that would be a long shot. When we used to play regular armour, particularly Armour 1, we used to do 800 meter shots with a 107. That was fun. But you can't see it, but down here is a football pitch. Can you see the football pitch? If I might outline the football pitch. In there is military spawn. Not much, not as good as Starry. Probably as good as Balota, but the Balota tents with deer stands. It's probably that good, possibly. And there's more industrial and dockyards and things in that direction, which we definitely can't see. We just see the coastline just there. That's the coastline. And a lake. So, nice vantage point. Check to see that there is no zombie activity, which of course means no player activity. Not in the town itself anyway. So I'm going to go for a little trot in. So we've run a little closer, and if you look over there, you start to see some of the larger details start filling in the docks. You can see that there are the derricks are there. Some more detail further out is coming in. That lumber yard that wasn't visible to us before is now visible. And some of the larger features of that industrial. So the chimney stack is there, but the buildings associated with the chimney stack aren't. Still no Zeds. This is good. So here we go. We're attracting Zeds. Going to go first person because I still find it more comfortable to play in that way. And I'm not going to pick up much from the hospital. All I really want from the hospital right now is a morphine. I'm not playing with anyone else, so I don't need any blood. But if I see some, I'll have it. Right. Little point here. Oh. We have something. Well, we have that morphine I was after. I don't actually have any room for anything else. So, to the supermarket. As I said earlier, when we went into Polina, number one is big backpack. I need a big backpack more than I need almost anything else right now. So, we're on the hunt for a big backpack. So that's going to be supermarket and pub. Matches. Don't think I've ever seen two matches in one go together. Still no backpack. Oh, this is annoying. It's the case with this game. Very often it doesn't give you what you want. The guys on the server are discussing how many blood packs it needs to requires to become a hero. And to be honest, I'm not sure. Having spent a lot of time working with others, Pip and Gaddo, and of course getting into scrapes, which you always do when you're with Gaddo, because he's like that. You end up giving blood bags all the time. You know, we'll come to one of the hospitals, load up with blood bags, go have some adventures, and in the course of the adventuring need to give each other blood. It's a bit unusual. To the point where it doesn't even want to highlight. Ugh, a backpack. Wrong one. Ah, that's what that one is. It's part of this cluster. And still nothing I want. Let's go check upstairs. Looks like it's check backpack day, not Alice pack day. Try to stand up when going upstairs. Still not what I want. This is infuriating. Now on a regular... Lee Enfield, evil weapon. On a regular Dayz, one of the little things you could do, long before all these private hives sprung up, which appear to be dominating the scene now, private hives, is that you would... One of the little tricks you could do was to be in a high resource location like this, go to one server, check to see if there's what you needed, and then log out of the server, log into a different server, then because you would be in the same physical location, but the spawn table would be different, and you'd go through all of that. Of course, with private hives, gets rid of that completely. The only thing that people do with server swapping these days is combat logging, and that is where you're in danger and you just leave the server. Anyway, catch up with you in a bit. So here we are, running through Bergino and north. I'd love to pull up the compass, but I still don't have one. One of the many little things I want. Run on this... Oh dear, have I got here too soon? No, there is some kit, but not a lot. So, yes, I need a compass still. I hear the Zs. These green ones, you get a few bits there. There's an item there, what is it? Hang on. Wait, get off. Wait, why can't you... Ooh, buggy, buggy, buggy. What are you? A Makarov man. And a Makarov. See? Would you have come to a porchway? It's the green building with the satellite dish on the front. Tin cans. See, there are things around. Some of the buildings you don't realise they're not enterable, but they still have some spawn. Basically, I'm going to have to work this area. This is a high resource area. We have a market there, and we have 3 blocks of flats. So we're definitely going to be spending some time in this little area looting. I don't need general stuff. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got a very full bag, which is the reason why I want the bigger backpack. So don't need any of that. Definitely don't need that, or that, or that. Matches. Looks like matches day. There are days. Now, see this. You know what I was saying about that other supermarket being buried more deeply? Ooh. Did I hear shooting? That gate's definitely been bashed. Sure, I heard some shooting in the distance. So, yes. I was saying, all the buildings are actually deeper than you think. They go further down. And this one is higher than that other one. So I think I heard some shooting. I definitely think this gate has been bashed by a vehicle. They fall over like that when they're bashed. So we're going to have to be a little on the cautious side, because I think there's another player around. Good chance that they're friendly on this server. Damn, I was going to do those, wasn't I? Because you do occasionally get backpacks in here. Can you hear steps? Someone walking in a tall building. I think we've got a player nearby. I'm going to change to direct communication. Well, he's going to know I'm around. compass. What I've been after. Friendly, friendly, friendly. Let's see what happens, eh? Friendly, friendly, friendly. Backpack. So, open pack. Nothing in it. Click on our pack, open pack. Move them all across. Oops, another two. Moving everything from my backpack. Come on. Thank you. To this backpack. Then take pack. Just keep an eye out the windows. I've got a sneaking suspicion he's in that building or was in that building. Now we can open backpack and move some of these across. Clearing some space. There we go. And how much space have we got left in our backpack? None. Here's someone walking, could be a Z, could be someone else. Friendly, friendly, friendly. Just killing Zeds, friendly, friendly, friendly. Thanks, cocksucker! Sorry about that. I was angry. Should not swear. Do apologise. Could have handled that better, couldn't I?